Hello everybody. I wanted to give you some reassurance of the procedures that we're following in the clinic to make it a safe environment for ourselves and most especially for the patients. And I'll take you on a little tour with Paz of the clinic in a moment's time. Um, I think you might want to know what to expect when you actually come to the clinic. So what you'll find is that we're screening all patients before they actually enter the clinic. So when you make your appointment by telephone, you'll be run through a number of questions where we can check to see if you've had any of the COVID symptoms and you need to be still isolating, or if you are actually eligible to come in. That eligibility then means to see if you're in a vulnerable group or not. Just because you're in a vulnerable group, it doesn't mean to say that you can't be seen, but we need to take individual risk assessments with you. So you'll probably be then directed to your chiropractor who will run you through some further questions. And if successful, then you'll still be able to be seen. We want to all that we can to safeguard not just yourself, but the people in your household as well. In the clinic itself, we will be having a maximum of 6 patients at any one time. That will allow for social distancing, so we'll be able to have 2 patients in the waiting room. There will be front office CA members of staff, Jill and Sue to begin with, behind Perspex screens. And we'll have another 2 patients, 1 in each treatment room, and potentially 1 in another treatment room and 1 waiting in the cubicle. So you're all really more than 2 meters apart, which fits in with the government's recommendations. As I mentioned, the front office staff will be behind Perspex screens, which we've had purposely made. We would ask all patients on immediately entering the clinic to use the hand sanitizers before going anywhere or touching anything for both your safety and ours. The clinic is deep cleaned before every session by Angela, our cleaner, and we are starting a little later in the days to allow time for that to be done. And also we are keeping our lunch breaks free for, again, there to be a really midday sanitizing clean done by members of the team. The x-ray equipment, if you have to have x-rays, is also allowing more time for that so that it can be cleaned down between each patient. We're sterilizing wipes. Les's doing a good job with that, and she's also using a visor and a mask, which is quite hot work. Chiropractors and clinical team will also be using personal protective equipment. So basically that means we'll be wearing a mask when we get close to you. Also have plastic disposable aprons between each patient, gloves in certain situations, and visors in certain situations as well. Where we will use the visors is if we're requested to by a patient, but also when we have more vulnerable patients like infants, or if we're doing cranial work and we have to get quite close to you face to face. This way we have literally a physical screen between us, rather like the Perspex screen for the girls. We would also ask you to bring with you a face mask or improvise a face mask. So again, another way of lessening droplet spread. But I'll take you now with Paz on a little tour around the clinic so you can see that we are doing all that we can to safeguard you. Good afternoon. I wanted to take you on a little tour of the clinic to show you the steps that we are currently making following our very extensive risk assessment. Our priority is to be working in a safe environment for you, the patient, and for the team here so that we can continue to operate healthily. So I'm going to give you a little explanation as to what we're doing and show you some of the things as well. So we are wearing face masks, and we would ask all patients who are attending the clinic if they could bring some kind of safe face mask. Can be improvised version as well, just to stop that droplet flow. Other thing I'm going to show you, so in the clinic room at the moment, as you can see, we are all wearing our version of a plastic apron. And these are changed for each patient, and they go into a clinical waste tiger bag, which is taken care of by a clinical waste disposal company. Also to safeguard you, we will be using hand sanitizers. Yeah, we have these in each room. Or we may choose to go with the antibacterial soap and dry, and all that then going into the bin. For those patients who we have to do cranial work with, or who we feel are in a very high vulnerability category, then we also have, let me show you, a face visor. There you go. So, just like so. So we can basically get pretty close to you guys and there's no droplet spread infection. And we would do this also with the mask on. Okay. Between each patient, we're taking a few minutes to spray down the couch with antibacterial contact areas, including the hands, and the paper is changed as well.
Just to add to what we're doing in the clinic rooms, we have all the Perspex screens up all the way around. Touch points get sanitized regularly, i.e. that card machine there. We allow 6 patients in the clinic at a time. This allows for social distancing. We go through a series of questions, make sure that we've triaged everyone. So other than sanitizing throughout the day, we also make sure that the clinic is deep cleaned at night time.
We really appreciate that there's a lot of fear out there, and I'll deal with that in a separate talk. But in our clinical environment, it's probably, other than your home, one of the safest places to be. And we want to reassure you that we are ongoing with our risk assessments. It's what we call a live document. So we assess it in light of any new information and we check our procedures regularly. So I hope that will be reassuring. If you have any questions you'd like to direct to us individually on a personal basis, then we'll be very happy to receive your call and call you back at such time that we are free.